Hi guys, Crispin Sanford here with The Culture Machine and another episode of the film shoot. The next stage number 4, is development and packaging. So this is one of those areas that isn't so broadly discussed. I mean, you hear it in professional circles, the professional circus, there's a Freudian slip. But here I want to go into it a little bit more, bring a little bit more clarity, right? So episode 4 in season 1, pre-season 1 of the film shoot. So basically, development and packaging, that's meeting with all of the people that are going to be a part of putting together the team to make the film. Typically above the line is of greater consideration at this point. Above the line, there's the amount of money that's being spent on the talent, the director, putting together this whole team of people. And then they're considered below the line, where it's all of the people that are crew members, production assistants, etc. This is kind of a standard rate for the type of film that's being made, right? That's going to probably be the same. In many regards, in many ways, for the studio. So the above the line expenses, those are the variables, big differences, depending on the talent involved and how much it's going to cost to get them on board. You're going to be meeting at this point, we start typically with development. So you've made all your relationships, right? You're maintaining the relationships, right? That you've built and been building. You've first understood more about the filmmaking process, and you're learning from people in the industry, people you meet, and they're sharing with you insights. Hopefully you're writing it down. Obviously you want to put down what they know in the way in which they share it, the steps they recommend taking, the pattern that they're sharing with you. This is priceless. When you're getting these insights, you want to make sure it's specifically the things that they say. Now, you may have your own input, you may have something to say, and you may relate other ideas to this, but typically you really want to write down the things that they're sharing, whether it's creative people, technical people, or the administrative people. And then, obviously, as I said, you're going to be building relationships, maintaining relationships with these individuals, the people that you want to work with, the people you like, people that like you. People that you feel will be able to bring value to the projects you do. You're developing those creative, financial, technical, and administrative relationships. And then also we start to move into, you're working on your projects and you're looking to move in towards building a package and developing your project. So, some of these people in that third stage, right, that you've discussed having a relationship with, you learn in terms of being a vendor or a part of the manufacturing process. They're going to develop your film. If you're using real film, you might go to Deluxe and establish a relationship with them. At some point, you're going to have to put down a deposit or get insurance or validate you have insurance. There are all these requirements that are part of your ability to exist. Your presentation as a legitimate operation and organization, the documentation and insurances and all these various things. There are some of which you need to provide to these the manufacturers and the vendors, etc. But now that we're looking at developing the specific project, right? So when you make a film, right? If you go to Fox 2000, right, to meet with them, I think they're still around. I think they might be getting the axe with the merger. But anyway, if you go to, Fox Searchlight or Fox 2000, then it's going to be sort of an independent project. It's going to be within a certain budget range, 20 million maybe less, maybe a bit more. But then as you develop the sort of meetings that you're going to want to take, are going to be with people that are engaged in independent film. Paul Giamatti, there's yeah, even Tom Cruise will make a great independent film. Magnolia is one of them, you know. But I mean, you know, you're going to want to approach your Greg Kinnears. You know, these are the people that are involved in more of the independent scene, right? You know, I mean, big movie. I mean, this is not. They're still going to be distributed by Fox, right? But you know, it's the projects and the people involved in sort of a Fox Searchlight, Fox 2000 mindset that you're going to want to appeal to, and also when you're developing the project. That's kind of why these two areas are together, right? Development and packaging are actually feed each other and serve each other. If you're interested in making an independent, quirky film, then you're going to want to just look at production companies, production companies that have deals with your Fox Searchlight. You're going to be ensuring that the budget, the production values discussed in the script, the sets, the environments, the number of shifts. You're going to be pretty much staying in one state, or maybe a road movie, but you're going to be seeing some things on the way. Diners can be shot anywhere and be on the road, right? There are going to be certain limits to. There's going to be a cap to what you're going to write about and the things that are going to happen in your story, because it's going to have to meet this sort of budget cap of that particular studio, that production company. And then because you're reaching, because you're looking at this kind of a budget, then you've got to be looking for the kind of actors, character actors, the kind of individuals that enjoy working in that realm. If you've got some young chap who's become a superstar and isn't interested in doing independent films, right? Is really only interested in only being in studio films. I mean, this doesn't always work for people. I don't want to badmouth anyone, but like Brendan Fraser, he got into The Mummy and The Mummy Returns, and I don't know him personally, but I definitely didn't see him doing some of these independent movies. He was huge, and I think that he might have got lost in that. I don't know, but it's just the first person that comes to mind that in the past, right? It's a little bit easier to discuss than someone perhaps now, but you just think with that, right? You're not going to want to approach people, actors, directors, production companies that aren't going to respond to your material. So when you reach out to agents and managers, definitely we recommend managers as a way to go. They're interested very often in the career of the individual. I know I worked at 3 Arts Entertainment for a couple of years in the mid-90s, mid to late 90s, and I learned so much there. But it really is like they're interested in building the brand, building the identity. They're interested in ensuring that the message and the quality of the work and the kind of work that the talent wants to do and be engaged in is the sort of thing that they see, right? So, when you're developing your project, I mean, we're obviously talking about feature films here, and a lot of us are going to be focusing on working short films. But even there, still, right, you're gonna have to be looking at the individuals that are going to respond to your material and that you're going to be able to afford, who might be willing to take scale on a low budget project, such as these short films are going to be. But yeah, you're framing it and discussing it in these sorts of terms. Now, when you're dealing with agents and managers, again, it's not personal. You're looking together to put together a package. Now, one of the things I want to share with you that I think is vital is if you're able to put together with the relationships you've established, right? A great cinematographer, a great grip crew, like a gaffer with a team, a DP with a team that work with them, and they're willing. I mean, again, these are all the things that have to do with scheduling and their availability. But if they're willing and interested in doing this short film, this labor of love, where they have some real input, they feel the significance of being this heavyweight director of photography or lighting guy, being involved in such a small project, in mentoring you, in being a part of your knowledge base, you know, if that appeals to them, and obviously you want to find people where that is the case, and you're able to put together a complete team. You've got the script, you've got your vision as the director, you've got a quality director of photography, lighting gaffer, you've got a production designer that's, you know, and a costume designer that's willing to put together, you know, throw things together. It's a small budget, but they want to work with you and they're interested in the project you're doing. If you can put together that whole package, then you're going to be able to appeal by the names, by the package when you promote your short film in Variety or the Hollywood Reporter, with that information, with those people attached, right? That's gonna make managers and agents respond. Casting directors are gonna respond. They're gonna see that you're serious, that you've put together a real package. I think this is gonna be one of the secrets that you use. Putting together all of the department heads prior to reaching out to the actors to be involved in your project is really going to help with the credibility of what you're doing, and really having your workbook. One of my, you know, I love all kinds of films, right? From you know, A Room with a View, Amadeus, to, you know, Aliens and Terminator, and The Sting, which won Best Picture the year I was born. It's one of my favorite movies ever. You know, so I have a wide range of movies that I love. But you know, if you're approaching talent, and you know, you're able, well, actually, what I was going to say was one of my favorite directors is Tony Scott, and one of the things that he does as a director is he puts together a whole book, and it has real locations, real people, interviews with those people, stories that they've told about their experience. That has to do with, you know, either Top Gun, being in that organization, and the people involved in that, and the photographs and places that Myanmar, or I think it's Myanmar. I haven't seen that. I'm going to see that film again. Top Gun 2 is coming out, so I'm sure I will. But you know, he really immerses himself in the real world and meets real people, and ends up putting those stories, recommending that the lead actor, from Denzel Washington, speak with an individual that resonates with him as a director, and Denzel as an actor, that speaks to the part and the role that that leads this particular film. All right, so I recommend you do this. Put together a working book. I know when I was in drama school, we had a working notebook, and we took down all our notes, all of our thoughts and feelings and designs and sketches and photographs, etc. And I recommend you do this too, so that, you know, when you come to a meeting, when you're discussing what you're going to do with agents and managers and the various people that you want to bring on board, that you're looking to bring on board, they see you've done the work. They see your vision. They know that they can plug into it, and the thing's going to get done. There's a vision, and that this is professional, and you know what you're doing. And especially in these early days, at this early level, for a lot of you, you know, I think it's going to be very, very important to do all the work necessary to ensure you get a yes. You know, when you're building these relationships and you meet with them with your script, and they're interested in it, and they bring together your workbook. You know, you meet with them and bring your workbook when you meet together, and go through it with them. They're gonna see your vision. They're gonna want to get involved. You welcome their input, welcome their contribution. You know, ensure that what you're doing is your vision is the plan, the overall picture. You know, it's going to be a stark environment, juxtaposed with a rich character, and we're moving towards a life that is rich by the end of it, you know, and we go from this stark coldness into this richness. Well, the way they interpret that and the things that they bring to you, welcome it, accept it, listen, absorb it, let them do their job. Steve Jobs would say, you know, why would you tell your people what to do? Why would you order them and force them to do what you want? Damn it, you hired the best people. These are the most creative and innovative, amazing people. Let them get on with it. Right? And the same is true here. You know, you want to bring the best to people, the best individuals that you can get, and bring their best, highest A game. So, you know, then that also means they're going to be excited when they talk to potential talent, especially if it's a name talent. You know, you want them to bring their inspiration and their passion in the meeting, which will help close the talent too. You don't have to worry if we're not always approaching high talent. You know, part of this is being local, is reaching out to theaters and theater groups and, you know, student groups, you know, to a certain degree. But obviously you'd be smart to reach out to talent where you can that's already known, already has a following and a reputation, and has a brand, has an image, in keeping with the message and the story that you're telling. That's where you get to use some of that branding that's available in the marketplace. It will speak to people. Certainly there's a certain amount of brand awareness that you're exploiting. And also, you know, in keeping with sometimes somebody wanting a change and a shift, that the juxtaposition might be just as engaging, you know, to, you know, put, you know, a superstar Top Gear Tom Cruise into an earthy, raw, independent, you know, 4th of July movie might be kind of seem like a dichotomy. Or having him be a vampire, you know, this handsome superstar being a vampire. I mean, he would always play against type, and that worked for him. So, you know your strategy, know what you're doing. But, you know, sometimes you go with it, the branding, and pick somebody that really people can identify with, that will resonate with their audience. That helps, obviously. And that's what we're doing. We're building a whole package, a complete film, including bringing in the revenue to pay for the film and support the next movie. But, you know, just remember that you want to build a package that's going to attract the people to come on board. The first people that you want to come on board are going to be your costume designer, your director of photography, your production designer, your you know, some of these technical individuals that bring a great deal of credibility to the fact that this project is real and is going to be done and is going to be completed by professionals, you know, and then approach some of the talent, some of the lead roles that are going to be some of the headliners. So yeah, there you go. You know, in some cases you're going to be shooting a film out of passion with your community. You're going to be leading the work. You know, obviously you want to make an intelligent choice about the roles you pick for yourself. Just do as serious a job on your approvals and authorizations for these things based on sound reason, you know. But obviously part of what we're doing is building a community, raising the money to pay for everything. So why on earth wouldn't you in some cases want to do the passion, a project you're passionate about that you feel you can shine in? But also, you know, there are going to be times when in the process of making lots of these films, you're going to want to get somebody and pick someone really perfect for the role that just isn't you, but is somebody else that you can cast. Guys, excuse me for the cough. That's it from me in this episode of the film shoot. Pre-season 1, episode 4, I think. Episode 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right, episode 4. On development and packaging. There's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot more stuff that we can get into and cover, obviously. Really glad that you've joined me again. If you've come before, if this is your first video, please go back and watch the others. Really interested in engaging you guys, getting your input on these. Share your messages about them, what you agree with, anything that I missed, or something you want to add, something you disagree with. Please, you know, share with me. That's part of what we're doing here. And look forward to talking with you and talking with you and ultimately working with you. All right, guys, that's it from me. Have a fantastic day and make that film. Get that project written, get it packaged, developed, packaged, and let's get it made and distributed and make it profitable. You know, your development is so important that you're writing the script that attracts the people that you can put into a package that sing and resonate throughout this project, right? They completely work together to create a unified whole. That's a part of what we're talking about, is the project you love, with people you love, with a message you love, and communicating powerfully this message and you know, everything together. You know, when people see this film, they're going to want to see it, especially these short films. you're going to want them to see a bigger picture, a much bigger world, and a unified presentation that they really buy into. And that's what you're doing when you're developing and packaging a film. All right, guys, that's it for me. Bye now.